Yeah, so I want this episode to be meaningful, but yeah, just to fire us off in our standard fashion, I got some funny comment first.
Yeah.
Um, I've always kind of been the type of person, and especially the type of kid, to just like over laugh at things, like things that other people don't really find funny. I just
Yeah,
like it's the
all the
most
time.
amazing. Okay, still a
All the
little bit
time.
today, but anyways, I was just thinking about this when we were talking about your DQ Blizzard.
Yeah.
The
Love DQ.
saying, yeah, everybody does. Our whole family is just DQ crazy now. Mom and dad will just take like a Sunday drive to the next town over that has a Dairy Queen just to get Blizzards. But
Yeah.
anyways, my favorite saying that I always laugh way too much at is when somebody like say probably you as a kid, you're like putting salt on your vegetables, and someone would say, "You want some vegetables with all that salt?" Like I just laugh my butt off at stuff like that. So then I was thinking about the cookie dough blizzard with extra cookie dough. It's like,
Yeah.
sheesh, you want some ice cream with
Some ice
that
cream with
cookie dough?
that?
I don't
You
know why I
gonna.
laugh at that so
Yeah.
much. Okay, well,
I think you just have a very strange sense of humor because you also don't get a lot of jokes.
nope.
Stuff goes right over your head.
Yeah, for whatever reason, because like I do understand complex things, but then
I feel like
people
you're
and
just
their
super
humor are just
literal.
too I am. That's another thing that actually me and my girlfriend were talking about the other day, and I'm just like very literal thinker, and if there's a problem, you solve it. And she's like, it's not that simple.
It's also too like you. Someone will say a joke,
Yeah.
but you don't take it as a joke. You're like, no, no, let's,
Yeah.
but like, look at it this way. It's like, hey, like, man, relax.
Sarcasm is another thing that like one, I do it a lot and people don't get my sarcasm, and I don't get other people's sarcasm.
Mm-hmm. You're
Yeah.
like Sheldon. You just need the little. You need someone to hold up a little board. Sarcasm.
At first I
Big
had no
Bang.
idea who
Yeah.
Sheldon was, but yeah, then okay.
Big
Big Bang.
Bang.
Yeah,
Big Bang.
got you. I am Sheldon. Um that's the other thing is I'm like super OCD about certain things. Well, okay, I'm not. I hate it when people use that term, but they're not actually diagnosed OCD. It's like, oh my god, I'm OCD. You know, you're not.
You
But
just have.
like, I'm
I don't know.
paranoid about certain things that need to be like perfectly organized. But I'm not an organized person. Like my desk is constantly destruction.
I
Um,
kind of get that sometimes. Like there's it's because my you know me, man. My room's like a mess. Everything is just all over the place. But
yeah,
sometimes there's just like this one little thing, and it's like that's like I just gotta move it just a little
yeah,
bit
it
because it's
bothers
not.
you.
But like there's clothes and dishes everywhere. But yeah, it's just that like one little thing where you're like, I need to just adjust this a little bit.
Yeah. Jake was the tornado that went through our house. You know how people like come into a place and they're like, "Wow, it looks like a tornado went through here." Yeah, that was just Jake.
Yeah, Tasmanian devil.
Not to mention, you were like
Do you
the
remember your
king.
little stuffed Tasmanian devil?
It's still
You
holding
you
the door open of the
you
spare
just like
room at mom and
bash it and it's
dad's.
like
Yeah, and he
spins in
just like
circles.
spun in circles.
Jumps around, yeah.
Yeah, that thing was wild. It's still at mom and dad's. I wonder if it still works.
You put some batteries in it, probably will.
Yeah, I don't even remember where I was going there, but anyways, um,
Probably
so
probably a dead end.
more than likely, um, really interesting though. So, in our very first episode, quite a few people have seen it now, and some people that are not related to us, which is most of our viewership. But
Yeah, they're all hello family.
what's super interested is like a friend of a friend saw the first episode, and which, if anybody remembers, is kind of a jumble of things. But
Yeah, I don't remember.
somehow they drew something so like meaningful and just kind of uh, well, like important, or like what could be kind of a life lesson out of our ridiculous episode. And she actually got in touch and asked if we would elaborate on that. And at first, like, we talked about it and whatever, but you and I, when we started this, was always kind of like, this is just going to be us goofing around, and we didn't really care what other people wanted to hear. We just wanted to visit. But I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, we want feedback in that.
It's
Um,
appreciated.
yeah, the main thing is about like keeping it authentic to us, which I think is still very doable. But I was excited to hear that you actually want to take this feedback, and we are going to elaborate on certain things that people want us to. But anyways, I'm gonna insert the clip of the first episode where we mentioned what this person was talking about. But you back then, I remember like before you got that fountain tire job, you were just like super shy. You told me you went out to a dealership that you were going to apply to. You sat in your car out front for like half an hour. You never applied. And
Yeah.
now that I hear some of the stories about what you're doing in Kelowna now, it's just like that's not the same guy. Like you're so out of your shell, not shy,
Yeah.
extrovert. Like anyway, so
No, it's
that back
good. Yeah.
then that was yeah right. So in that clip, um, someone asked if we would elaborate, or Jake especially would elaborate on how he went through that change or what he did to change from being kind of a very like just shy or kept to himself kind of person to now someone who actually like seeks out social interaction and well like I don't know like you explain because you're the one who's what's different now from then.
The pandemic.
Yeah, fair enough, but what
I think that honestly is like it's really. It's okay. No, I was gonna say it's like a big reason. It's not, but like it's like you're not around as many people, and you don't have like
like an audience.
yeah as much like it's uh scratch that. I don't know what I'm talking about. So
That's okay. My
ask
question my
ask the
question
question.
is
What do you want? What do you want to know?
my question is like think about like junior high and high school where you were very friendly with your group of friends and stuff, but if we went to Edmonton and that, you were still like hesitant to talk to not even strangers, but like even waitresses and stuff like that. Like I was kind of similar where I had a hard time
Yeah.
with social interactions like that.
Okay. So
How did you transition to where you are now? Or
from
where
yeah.
are you
So
now?
high school and such.
Yeah.
It was like you talk to the same people, especially being from a small town. Like you see the same people. It's all you're very familiar with everyone, right?
I think that's a big part of it, honestly,
So
because like
you get closed off into like meeting and talking to new people, and like I still don't really know how to do that.
mhm.
Just like how to start conversations. So I've tried to get into a mindset where like the worst a person's gonna do or say is like don't talk to me, or they just won't talk back to you.
Yeah,
So like, and especially like I'm jumping around here, but we'll
that's
talk
okay.
about like for like job interviews and like waitresses and stuff. Like their job is to talk to you, so they want to
Yeah,
talk to you. You just gotta
one
talk to them. I don't know. Like
one
I'll
thing
go to like
like
more like a public setting, but like it's you just kind of got it. I just honestly just kicked myself in the butt and was like, you need a job. Like
yeah,
you're either gonna get this job or they're gonna say no. You're gonna go somewhere else and find another job.
yeah, and I
Like you
I
just
totally understand that. And one thing I just want to point out quickly, and we can elaborate more on this later, but I was always kind of like shy or timid or just kind of felt inferior to the people I was talking to when I would have to go to a business and like talk to someone at a front desk who obviously knew more than me. And then I became a parts person at a dealership, right?
yeah
And all of a sudden I was on the other side of the counter and I still felt inferior because if I couldn't answer someone's question or if I made someone upset, it's just weird like to put yourself in that mindset and go, "Oh yeah, now some people might be afraid to talk to me, so like how can I be more accommodating and
Yeah,
and
so
all that. But
I still bounce around a lot between like having anxiety in social settings and like not having. And
yeah,
it kind of really for me just depends on the day
yeah,
because there's times where I'm in a social setting and it's just like I can't talk to anybody. That's how it feels. There's other times where I'm like random person never met. It's like, oh, go have a conversation with this person. Like
and that's what blows me
it's
away the
it's
most.
more that like earlier this or late past I don't know what it, last year. It's
Yeah.
January 7th. I don't know what the years or how you say this, but not that long
Okay.
ago.
Mhm.
It was it was like there's a group of people and
Mhm.
I don't know any of them, but like they were all wearing cowboy hats. So I went up and I was like, "Yeah, hey, why are you wearing cowboy hats?" And then we just had a little conversation, became friends for the night, and like that was that. Like you
And
just
that's what's so
you
crazy
say
to
they
me
either
though,
don't
because
answer you or they blow you off or they talk to you. I don't know. Like you
but
just
that's the thing is before like a year ago, you would have never done that. Even if someone asked you or told you like you should go talk to those people, it would have been like last thing on your list. You're not doing that.
yeah.
That's crazy. But I
I
think
I
one
know that
sorry.
it helps if I'm with someone else.
Okay.
Like if even just one person and like in any setting like that helps me a ton because it's me and that person instead of me by myself with all these people.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how you think. So if I'm with someone, I can be goofy and funny and loud and obnoxious, and like that's not going to bother me if other people are looking at me because I'm doing it for and with this person. But if I'm alone and I'm loud and goofy and obnoxious and everyone is looking at me, then it just like I just freak out and it's like I don't want
That
that.
is that is so weird because I am the exact opposite. So, right when we started talking about this, a big thing
Mhm.
for me is audience. Um, like when it's just me and like an employer doing a job interview, I am like ready to go, easy to like answer questions and just not be nervous.
Mhm.
Um, but even like public presenting, I'm still okay with that, especially if I have a chance to prepare. But I have a hard time like being truly myself with like knowing I have a large audience, right? Whereas when I am one on one with someone, it's easier. And even going back to what you're saying with like talking to a group of people is easier when you have someone you know. I would
Yeah.
almost feel the other way where I would be more comfortable approaching people by myself so that someone I know isn't there to watch me mess up or make fun of me later because I have that constant it's
I feel like
something's running in my
people that know me like I don't know, I'm all over the place. I mess up trying to say stuff all the time and I make a
yeah.
goof out of myself. So like I don't know. I've kind of and like I said, I jump back and forth between caring and not, but
Mhm.
like sometimes I just don't care what people think about me.
And that's so good because like
It's
as
like
much as I
this
like
is you just, throw yourself out there. This is me.
yeah,
You're going to like me or you're not. Like I'm not losing anything by not becoming your friend or by not talking to you. Like I'm still
that
this
is
is me right now. If I talk to you and gain something, cool. If you don't want to talk to me, then like there's no repercussion. Like it's not I didn't lose anything.
that is a brilliant mindset. Like I wish everyone and myself included could follow that kind of mindset. And for me, I think I care too much because I will almost adjust my personality to different, even like people I know, different friend groups. I am not a different person, but I act way different in our big family gatherings than I
Yeah.
do with my university friends, than I do with like my old high school friends.
So I get that too, but I wouldn't say that I adjust my personality more than just I let different bits of it come out
Yeah.
because myself like open-minded and like non-judgmental person.
Yeah.
So like other people's opinions and other people's interests, like I can relate to, or I'm like interested in hearing and talking about. So like if someone is more interested in like snowboarding, then like that side of me is what's out talking to them. Whereas if someone is more interested in movies, then that side is what's out talking to them.
For sure. And
Like that's what I think of it, anyways. But
that's so weird too, because like if I have not even a friend, but someone I know and I talk to or I work with, and they're into this sort of stuff, and like I am too, or I can be, and that's our common ground that we share.
mm-hmm.
It would be weird for me to like interact with that person along with another friend that has totally different interests, because I would feel like
You're like
now,
bouncing around.
but now they see me as like this dirt bike person who talks to this other friend about dirt bikes, but they thought I was like a school nerd, like straight A student,
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to explain because it's
No,
almost
I
like
understand because I used to do that, but I've kind of tried to get out of it
yeah,
because then yeah, if you're with a group of people, I don't know, you just gotta try and be yourself.
I it I don't know how to explain it or if this has anything to do with it, but there was a time in like early university where some of my longtime friends, there's basically like three different groups of friends, multiple people involved.
Yeah.
And those, I was friends with people in all three of those groups, but all three of those groups did not like and could not hang out with each other. So I was kind of like in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And so it was weird to one group that I still liked the other group, or I still talked to them, or I talked to the other group. And so I feel like that's kind of my outlook on these different people and my different personalities is if this person that I know knows that I like and talk to these kind of people, they might be weirded out by that. They might not like me. So that's why I kind of like lock it down. Do you know what I mean?
I've had situations like that with like workplaces
Yeah.
where it's like this area of work doesn't like this area of work, but yet I get
Yeah.
along well with both of them.
Exactly
But
what
I
I'm
think
talking
that's
about.
where it comes, like that's where like the fact that I'm open minded and the fact that like I can relate or am interested in their interests and opinions, that I can get along with a lot of different people.
Oh no, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like I'm friends with everybody, but then I'm also the kind of person to not really pick sides. So when someone asks me to, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna side with this guy and start hating those guys for any reason. And it's not even about hate and that kind of conflict. But I don't know. I'm starting to ramble about things.
What time we got?
Uh, 19 minutes, give or take.
Okay, just making sure my camera doesn't shut off.
Yeah.
That's a mighty nice shirt you got on. Looks a little familiar.
Oh yeah, stole that from me.
That's fine.
That was part of the moving out
Donation
garage
box.
sale that
Yeah.
Mom had for you. I got an Xbox for that, a camera case for my girlfriend. We got a dresser. We so
You're welcome.
when McCoy boy here moved to BC, he just ditched all his old stuff in Mom and Dad's house, and
Yeah.
so when we went to visit, Mom's like, "Yeah, go up to Jake's old room. Anything you want, you can have it." It was awesome.
I was out of there. And mom too is like, "Oh, you want to take this? You want to take this?" It's like, "Ma, no, I just want to go."
The best part is though, everybody is still selling things for you.
Oh yeah.
Like I sold some video game stuff and gave you the money. Dad's selling your old vehicles, giving you the money. Like
Wheeling and dealing, man.
that's funny.
Well,
So
that was a little deep dive into our minds.
well, yeah, that was cool because it's so interesting to talk about the same topic, but you and I have completely opposite like not even perspectives, but just
I
ways
didn't
of
even know
going
if you'd
about
say
it.
completely opposite, but yeah, like I don't know,
Sorry, we're similar, but
everyone's mind's different, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So like where
One.
someone can go and talk about anything for hours, like another person will have a lot of trouble coming up with topics to talk about.
Mhm. Um. So
Where like
yeah.
I've
Two.
come sometimes I just try and pretend I'm talking to myself.
Okay.
Like you just
Interesting
find
tactic. Yeah.
you just like also I thought about this at work today because
Mhm.
I don't know, work is work, but I think that when you meet someone, it shouldn't be like oh, like where are you from? What do you do for work? It should be like a what are you interested in?
Yeah. And I think that was the issue with meeting people in university is no matter who it was, where you were, even just like other people outside of university being in university, your questions were what year are you in? What
Yeah,
program are you in? And it's
because
just like
there's the conversation unless you like relate on that specific topic, it can't go
yeah,
anywhere. So someone's like, "Hey, where are you from?" It's like, "Oh, like northern Alberta." It's like, "Oh,
cool.
that's cool." It's
Yeah.
like, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Kelowna. Oh, okay, cool. It's not like, what are you interested in? Oh, well, I like rock climbing. Like, wow, that's wicked. Like, is there
Tell
any
me
cool
about rock
places
climbing.
around
Tell me
here? Like, yeah,
stories. Yeah.
they, right. So that's how I try and start conversations now more than, where you from, what do you do for work? Because if someone's interested in their work, then when you ask what they're interested in, they'll say, well,
Yeah.
I'm an electrician and why your house is so cool. It's yada yada.
Yeah.
Then you ask them questions about that work because you know they're interested in. If someone's interested in something, they'll talk about it.
No, exactly. And we actually had like mini courses in university on how to interview people, like how to properly obtain information through an interview.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple like important principles, but whatever, it's not relevant to this conversation. What's more important is that there are, like you said, very small traditional opening questions um, like you said, what's your name? Where are you from? What's your favorite color? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or there are so much deeper questions that aren't any harder to ask, but like just access so much more information in a person or spark so many different conversations.
Because really, to have a good conversation, you're trying to find a similarity, right? Something you
Well, yeah,
both know
for
to
the yeah,
talk about. Like, well, that's like a good back and forth, right? If you're
mm-hmm.
going to learn something from someone, then it doesn't matter what they talk about. But like
Well,
for
it's
you,
again similar interest.
yeah, for you, you find someone that's also really into motocross and watches the Monster Energy
Yeah,
Supercross, like you guys could talk about the past 3 years for hours probably.
hours. Yeah,
Whereas
I
if
see
you
what you're saying.
find somebody who's really into horseback riding, like you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to have much to talk about. You can ask them questions and get them to talk, but there's not that back and forth. So I think like to have a good conversation is you find a similarity.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
Again, that's all. That's how my mind works.
no, I know, and everybody's gonna have different opinions and different strategies and whatnot, but and different experiences. Like we're talking from two very young experiences or
Mm-hmm.
two very young people with limited experience. But anyways, um, yeah, time to wrap it up.
Got a quote?
I don't know. Yeah, one just popped into my head. I hadn't picked one out, but
Well, that's good
um,
because I didn't have one.
carrying the team here.
I know.
That's one of my girlfriend's favorite sayings is
Well,
my
you got it.
shoulders are sore, and I'm like, why are your shoulders sore? I'm carrying the team here. Oh my gosh.
I went.
Okay,
I
what?
went out to lunch today,
Yeah.
and when I got back, one of the guys was like, "Oh, where'd you go?" And I was like, "Oh, Nanya." And they're like, "Oh, what's that?" I was like, "None of your business."
See, that's the kind of stuff I laugh way too much at, like the dad jokes, the dumb
Yeah.
ones.
He still
um,
didn't get it. He's like, "Where did you go?" I had to like explain it to him.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Um, no, so I have a lot of art history quotes because I took way too many art history classes, but
Mm-hmm.
one of them, super like weird psychological question or a quote, but I'm almost. Oh, I'm gonna have to double check this. I'm pretty sure it's Matisse who says this. Matisse is a painter.
Okay.
Actually, now I'm pretty sure it's not. But, anyways, there's a painting of a pipe, like a
Is this the
one of.
quote?
No, I'm explaining it. There's a
Oh, okay.
picture. There's a painting of a pipe like this, right?
Yeah.
And underneath it is the quote. It's in French, but it says, "This is not a pipe," and it's whatever. So say no pas pipe. I don't know French,
Me
um,
neither.
but the point is the principle in art is that he painted a picture of a pipe and then wrote underneath it, "It's not a pipe," meaning it's a painting of a pipe, but whatever he's painting is not the physical form is not actually there.
Uh huh.
And so there's a lot of things in art about paint as you see it, not as you know it, or paint like it's all about perception and the different ways that people look at things and understand them. Because if I showed you a picture of a pipe and said, "What is this?" you'd say, "That's a pipe,"
Yeah, I
right?
would, but it's
Yeah,
not. It's a painting of a pipe.
it's a painting of a pipe. And
Oh,
so, well, like, and
sorry.
it's not even about that technicality
Uh huh.
as much as it is just the mindset of looking past the obvious and that everything kind of has you can look deeper
Meaning.
into anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Just like this podcast. Whoa, meaning. Wicked.
Yeah, good
All right.
shit.
Yeah, that's another episode. Actually, real quick before we end, I want to mention the Instagram. It's at the Steele and McCoy Show with a bunch of underscores in
Yeah,
there because
why?
everything else was taken. I don't know. I couldn't put just the Steele
Oh
and
my
McCoy Show.
goodness.
Sorry. Um,
Buy
we
it.
post we post all kinds of like teasers, clips, let you know when the episodes are coming out. I'm also going to start posting what's called before the show, funny clips and snippets of things that happened before we actually start the episode because there's some good ones in there.
You should try and leave it like super out of context.
What out of context?
The clips.
Oh, they believe me, they are.
Oh,
Well,
good.
some of them. And also, again, kind of stemming from the topic of this episode, we kind of want a little bit of feedback and kind of questions you have. We don't want like random questions and answers kind of questions, but
It's not gonna
like,
be like a you asked a question, here's our answer,
yeah,
but like it
spark some
can be
ideas.
elaborated
Give
on
it,
or
yeah.
discussed or
Um,
you know.
but I'll be posting things on the Instagram that will hopefully instigate conversation and yeah, things we want to talk about later on.
Yeah, sir.